Lionel Messi says goodbye to Barcelona. The NBA is a total circus this offseason, and we sit down with my good friend Mike Soares of the New Human Project. All this on Two-Way Takes. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 6 of Two-Way Takes. I am your host, Matty V, joined by my brother and co-host, Producer Mitch. Producer Mitch, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. Glad to be back in the seat.
Excellent. I know Producer Mitch had a week off. He was on his honeymoon, and then we had our interview with Brad Tinsley. So he is back. He is back in action with us tonight. To go through all the things in the world of sports, collectibles, sports business, you name it. We're covering it here on Two-Way Takes, the variety show, covered everything. Anyway, we have a great show lined up for you guys tonight. As mentioned earlier, we have my good friend and fellow entrepreneur, Mike Soares of the New Human Project. A really great interview and sit-down that we did with him coming up. But we are going to start things off with the headline of the day. Absolutely eye-popping headline coming out of Camp Nou in Spain, and that is Barcelona legend Leonel Messi will not continue his career at Barsa. This news broke earlier today. I know towards the end of June, there were sources that said that Messi and Barcelona had worked out a contract agreement amongst each other. However, due to Spanish La Liga financial rules, Messi's contract is being prevented from being executed. So, big story today. And obviously, the soccer world is absolutely electric with speculation as to where he would go. Last year, towards the end of the year, he had a little riff with new club president, and he tried to get out. They ended up making amends. He ended up coming back, some would say against his will. And now it seems that due to some, I think it's the equivalent of financial fair play rules out in La Liga, that his contract is not going to be able to be executed and re-upped, which makes him, as of this afternoon, it makes Lionel Messi, for the first time in his professional career, a true free agent, and the market's going crazy. Absolutely crazy. So if you rewind to last summer, one of the big storylines and frontrunners surrounding this whole Lionel Messi Barcelona saga, if you will, was that Manchester City and PSG were the two frontrunners to go after the Argentinian. However, it looks like a one-horse race right now. Looking like a one-horse race. Man City earlier today finalized the deal with Villa's Jack Grealish, who came over for a record-breaking English transfer fee. And now it really seems as though PSG, the French giants in League One, are poised to make a play for Messi. Mitch, what do you think? What do you think? Messi gonna look good in PSG colors?
I think he'd look better in Sporting colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, that'd be the day. That'd be the day that Lionel Messi goes to Liga NOS to play for Sporting. I'll tell you, if that were to happen, you know Ronaldo's on the next flight out of there.
100%.
Out of Juve. There ain't no way he's letting Messi go to the green and white without him going back there. But on a serious note, PSG has to be assuredly the front runner at this point. So they were rumored to get him last summer. They were one of the two teams along with City. City, obviously, now that they have Grealish, for all intents and purposes, are out of contention after spending all that money. Having Grealish now, having Foden, it would be a really, really difficult chain of events to get Messi over to the Premier League, which is unfortunate because I think that would be absolutely electric to be able to watch Leo Messi on Saturday mornings in the Prem. But that being said, definitely some excitement around the prospect of Leo going to PSG. And honestly, this is a big thing for the collecting world too. Not only is this obviously huge for, the makeup of the domestic leagues and sort of shifting the power from La Liga. How is Barca gonna react without Messi in the middle? Is that going to impact Pedri? Is that going to impact Dembele? Is it going to be big for Memphis Depay and what kind of production he could have at Barca now? So there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of ripple effects that could happen here. I think one of the biggest things, though, if you're a collector, if you're a soccer collector, I think one of the biggest things that you have to be looking at is, should he sign with PSG? As a lot of people are speculating, there's already tons of memes, tons of infographics and what have you. If he signs with PSG, the biggest winner is Kylian Mbappe. Without a doubt, the biggest winner is Kylian Mbappe. Now, there's really no reason that Mbappe shouldn't pop 30 goals this year. 30, 35 goals in League One. You're going to be like, this is assuming Messi were to sign. This is assuming that PSG, ramps things up and really accelerates the process to win him over, because he is a free agent now. You would literally have Messi, assuming he plays, in his attacking midfield, center forward-ish role there, he would literally be playing right behind or right in the middle of Kylian Mbappe and Neymar. What a dream! What a dream triangle at the spearhead of your attack. Like, there's no back four on the planet that would be able to comfortably sustain pressure from those three. Between the pace and the skill, the creativity, the fluidity that Messi can play with, delivering balls in and around the box, giving up free kicks around the box. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. It's a nightmare for League One, and it's honestly a nightmare for anyone who were to run into that team come Champions League time. That's the other thing. You have to assume PSG in a really, really good position to contend for a Champions League title. All signs point to PSG right now. I mean, there's some real dark horse rumors about Man United. I even read like a couple tweets saying Bayern Munich could throw their hat in the ring, although you don't really see a lot of those top tier German clubs. A lot of those guys, they're homegrown. That's homegrown talent that feeds right into their national team. So I think the front runner's got to be PSG. Really excited to see how that turns out, and it couldn't come at a better time, man. Couldn't come at a better time. The domestic leagues are about to start up. You got to think any interested club, they're going to act with plenty of haste and make sure that they can get him into training with the first team. Maybe he misses the first game of a domestic campaign, just, getting acclimated to a new team and whatnot. But you got to believe this is going to be, it's going to be big for the hobby. It's going to be really big for the hobby. So all of a sudden now, for the first time in Lionel Messi's career, we'll be able to chase cards of him in another uniform. It'll be similar to kind of the LeBron effect with his first Heat cards, his first Laker cards, Now you could have Messi's first PSG card, Messi's first. Is he even going to sign autos? I know there's plenty of stickers. Panini's got plenty of stickers and whatnot, and Topps has plenty of stickers. Is he going to sign on-card autos in whatever uniform, whatever club that he goes to? There's a lot of really fun things, Could his presence again, assuming he goes to PSG, could his presence be the sort of final stepping stone for Mbappe to really bolster himself up before probably inevitably getting transferred himself? So a lot of really cool ripple effects that could result of this, of Messi leaving Camp Nou, leaving La Liga. No way he stays in La Liga. There's absolutely no way. So, I mean, the obvious choices would have been, the Prem or League One. I guess Serie A. I mean, I don't really know the financial situations of a lot of teams in Serie A, but wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something to see him and Ronaldo going at it? I mean, I guess, if he goes, maybe Milan makes a play. Obviously Juve's already got Ronnie, but it'd be interesting. Anything's on the table at this point, so absolute stunner. But while we were on that topic and talking soccer, one thing I wanted to go through is a lot of people, particularly coming back from the National the last week, a lot of people I feel are still a little bit hesitant as far as getting in on the soccer market. And so one thing that I wanted to cover really quick before we go on to some other topics is run through some of the top soccer cards sold this summer. These are all in the last 30 to 60 days. In the last 30 to 60 days this summer, just to give you an idea of the growth of the soccer market over the last 12 to 18 months. This shit is the real deal, man. So we're going to run through the top 5 biggest sales in June and July, okay, as it stands, as of today, August 5th. So number 5 was back in June, the 2006 Panini World Cup Cristiano Ronaldo PSA 10. That card went for a casual $15,100. That is the first Ronaldo World Cup card. It's his World Cup rookie, so to speak. Leonel Messi also has his. Got a couple PSA 8s myself. Nothing close to that price, but PSA 10. This is a double digit pop card. So I don't know why more people aren't hopping on these low pop, iconic, GOAT level cards of guys like Ronaldo, guys like Messi. But this will go down, in my opinion. That 2006 Panini World Cup card will go down as one of the iconic great cards of two of the GOATs. Number 4, 2016-17 Panini Noir Lionel Messi auto. Number to 10 as a BGS 9.5. Sold. Final realized sale, $16,700. Another one. Wasn't even on card. That's the crazy thing about it. It's a sticker auto. Number 3, 2018 National Treasures Cristiano Ronaldo patch auto 1 of 1 raw. So Ronaldo's one of the 1-of-1 subset patch autos from Cristiano Ronaldo, 1 of 1 raw, $17,366. Number 2, 2018-19 Immaculate Kylian Mbappe platinum 1 of 1 base rookie. No autograph. Kylian does not sign. No autograph. No patch. Just his 1 of 1 platinum base rookie out of Immaculate. BGS 9 sold for $24,188. That was number 2. And the final one, number 1 on the list out of the coveted. And I saw a case of this at the National. Oh my God, I wanted it so bad. That's the only case I've ever seen. Only sealed case I've ever seen. 2016 flawless Cristiano Ronaldo dual patch auto to 15 BGS 9.5 sold for a cool $53,850. Let me tell you that one more time. $53,000. Absolutely electric. That was out of 2016 flawless. Flawless, obviously, one of the creme de la creme of the brands out in the hobby world. So no surprise that it fetched a premium. Also, it did get a 9.5, and it's a dual patch. The dual patch were 2 pieces of the Portuguese crest, absolutely electric. But just as a snapshot, and these are all extremely low pop cards. Again, if you're an investor, if you're someone who's looking to diversify within the hobby to kind of get a little more exposure to the market, I really do think, and I'm not just saying that because I'm biased towards as a soccer fan, even though I kind of am, but there really is. Pre-2019, there's a lot of low pop cards that you can get into. Low pop, high upside as the market grows and grows, as people realize there's limited supply. There's some really, really rock-solid buys out there. So can't go wrong with scarcity in the markets. But that being said, we are going to pivot over from soccer to the NBA offseason. And it's an absolute circus. It's a fucking circus. We're going to call it what it is. The Lakers have lost their minds. The Chicago Bulls are signing everyone. Damian Lillard might still get traded. It's crazy, man. It's crazy out there. So, obviously, the headline of the offseason right now is LeBron James is now the longest tenured Los Angeles Laker at a whopping 3 seasons. 3 seasons. The Lakers have completely cleaned house, brought in Russell Westbrook, all right? I mean, they went out and signed Carmelo Anthony. It's insane. I mean, we posted something the other day. The potential starting 5 for the Lakers could be LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, and Russell Westbrook. Or you can even swap out Malik Monk for Talon Horton Tucker. You can. It's wild. It's wild that you could possibly see Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook running the floor for the Lakers. It's just absolutely wild. You couple that with Chicago brings in Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball. They brought in Vucevic towards the end of last year. That's a brand new look team. Ben Simmons wants out. So there was the Bleacher Report put out a tweet the other day that Ben Simmons wants out of Philadelphia, has cut ties with everybody in Philly. So that's another domino that could be set to fall. For the longest time, Buddy Hield was rumored to be out of Sacramento and head over to Los Angeles. It's literally the Wild West, and there's one side of me that actually genuinely enjoys the helter-skelter, and you never really know what guys are going to do. You never really know where someone's going to end up and whatnot. But at the same time, for Christ's sake, man, it'd be nice to see someone in the same jersey. Russell Westbrook has changed teams for, 4 straight years now? 4 straight years? OKC, Houston, Washington, the Lakers. That's 4 teams in probably 5 years, 6 years? That's wild. That's why, and I like Russ. I like Russ a lot. I think one of the really interesting things with Russ, and I thought about this after he went over to the Lakers, was what impact is it going to have on his rookie card? So I took a peek. All of Russell Westbrook's marquee rookies, his tops and tops chrome rookies, by the way, pop 90s, 91, 95, PSA 10s. PSA 10s pop like 90 to 95. You saw, where was it right here? So he had one sell for, they were going for like $500, $600. He had one sell for $1,400 the other day. Same with LeBron. LeBron's seeing, a weird little spike. And it could just be, some preseason hype and whatnot. But even LeBron's, right? LeBron's Topps Chrome rookie, BGS 9.5. You could have found it for like $5,500, $5,600. One sold today, $6,600. Insane, man. That took almost a 20%, 22% increase, So it's interesting, man. It's really interesting. It's going to be a very exciting year in the NBA for sure.
Just pulled a question over from our Instagram here.
All right, fire away, Mitch.
Are the Lakers the clear frontrunners for the title in 2022?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question that, what's crazy is that part hasn't even processed in my head. It's just been so many roster moves and people moving around. I would say knee-jerk reaction, I would say no, because I still don't know if they have enough. And what's crazy about that is, I think the obvious title contender going into this year has to be the Nets. You still have Kyrie there, you still have KD there, obviously Harden there. And I think the key with them is health. Are those guys going to be able to stay healthy? Is Kyrie going to pull a disappearing act for 3-4 weeks in the middle of the season that's going to impact the playoff race or closer to the playoffs? Is KD going to stay healthy all year? Can Harden, show? I honestly, what's crazy, I'm least worried about James Harden of the three, to be honest with you. Kyrie, you have no idea what you're going to get. At this point, I think you can throw just about every possibility into play with Kyrie Irving, whether it's going to be some sort of crazy injury, whether it's going to be him needing personal time off or going on some wild sabbatical or whatever the case may be. And KD has just been, he's suffered through some injuries. Guy's played a lot of minutes in the league. With his frame, the way he plays, it's not that crazy to believe that KD could get banged up again. I'm the least worried about James, to be honest with you, and particularly because his type of he's not taking it to the cup as much. He's more facilitating at the perimeter, and if you noticed, the times that they did have all of them on the floor, and when James was in the game and healthy and kind of running the floor for the Nets, he was just very calm and composed and he sort of accepted that role where he didn't have to bear the burden of going out and going and getting 40 a night or whatever it is, to win the game. He knows that he can sort of take his foot off the gas a little bit, let KD do his thing, let Kyrie do his thing for a little bit, feed off Joe Harris a lot. Joe Harris, who surprisingly had a nice year last year. So I'm actually the least worried about James. I think Harden's the only one without a ring of their big three. So I really do think he's going to come in and really be able to dial himself in. I think Kevin wants another ring just because that guy just thrives on telling people to shut up. And if Kyrie stays healthy, I can't see the Lakers having done enough, even adding Westbrook, even adding like all the veteran talent they have and kind of constructing that roster as they have, because they're in kind of the same position. I mean, we saw LeBron for the a very rare point in his career go down and miss significant time. AD missed a shit ton of time this past year. So those guys, it's the same problem. It's the same issue. They got to stay healthy too. I mean, outside of them, it's tough. I mean, obviously you have the Bucks in the East. It's tough to see. It's tough to imagine a healthy Nets team will be able to be thwarted by the Bucks. I'm sorry. I mean, I know the Bucks are going to defend the crown, and they will defend it well. But like the only thing Giannis can do at this point in his career, I think, is, I mean, if he develops a perimeter game and he starts dropping threes, I mean, it's lights. It's the conversation changes completely. But I mean, we talked about this on a previous episode. I do think that Finals Giannis, the Giannis that we saw towards the Eastern Conference Finals and in the NBA Finals, I think we're finally seeing like Giannis's final Super Saiyan form. And regrettably, I don't think that form includes playing from having a deep perimeter game, having a 3-point game where he's going to be taking 9, 10, 11 threes a night. I don't see that happening. And that is probably the only way that I would ever pick the Bucks right now. That's the only way. Should Giannis have some sort of renaissance year, that's the only way I'd pick the Bucks in a series over the Nets in the playoffs. And it's tough. It's tough to look at that Nets team and having arguably the 3 best scorers at their position, at their size in NBA history, for the size that they are and the way that each one of them can go get a bucket at any time. It's tough to say that they are not the front runners for the title in 2022. Although I do think the Lakers are going to make a lot of noise. Like, make no mistake, we are going to see a Russell Westbrook 45-point night with LeBron James having 18 assists. With 12 of them going to Russ. That I think is going to be one of the most fun things to watch is with Russ, who's obviously he's a volume player, he's a volume shooter for the Lakers. I mean, we're going to see LeBron take some quarters where he's like, all right, this is Russ's quarter, and just draw and dump, work some screen and roll with AD, and watch Russ flashing on the perimeters or whatever it is. I think they're gonna be really fun to watch. I think Malik Monk is a guy who significantly upped his 3-point percentage this past year. If he can shoot 35, 38% plus from the 3-point line this year for the Lakers, I think that makes them a very, very difficult team to match up against, whether Monk's, on that first unit or second unit. You have no idea we're going to get out of Carmelo. Obviously, put in some nice years, some nice minutes in Portland, but he's a tough one to sort of, predict and be able to rely on for points. But I think the Lakers are in the mix. I definitely anticipate seeing them at least in the second round of the playoffs, conference finals area, minimally. I think second round to conference finals, that area is the floor for that team. I mean, I can't see the floor for the Nets being anything less than the conference finals or an NBA championship appearance. I really can't. So, but yeah, appreciate the question. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. The season's right around the corner too, which is gonna be great. So, very much looking forward to that. That being said, we're gonna head over to a little segment with producer Mitch. It's What's Lit with producer Mitch, and we've got a little situation going on in the world of esports with Activision and Blizzard. Producer Mitch, you want to take it away? Give us a little explanation. What's going on there?
Yeah, there was a big walkout over over a lawsuit that sprouted over a 2-year investigation. It was kind of nuts. There was a lot of accusations of just, a lot of physical, sexual abuse in the offices there at Activision Blizzard, and people were, understandably very frustrated and upset. And I mean, the employees organized a walkout. I mean, this isn't technically esports; it's more esports adjacent. But I mean, Activision Blizzard is huge. They have hands in, a lot of World of Warcraft esports events, Call of Duty. They run that. So I mean, there's a ton going on with that. As far as other stories, I mean, it's kind of in a lull for the next few days. We've got a Counter-Strike tournament coming up, or the Counter-Strike ESL Pro League. I think it's season 14 coming up on August 16th. Then there's some events coming up late fall, but yeah, the big news is the investigation and the allegations against Blizzard and Activision right now, which is kind of nuts to hear. As a longtime supporter of that company, I mean it's just crazy to hear that such a hostile work environment was going on behind the scenes there. It's crazy.
And really, and for those viewers who may not know, Activision and Blizzard, two of the largest video game developers in the world. Like Mitch said, titles like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft,
Overwatch.
Hearthstone, all very, very large worldwide games. Global, absolute global brands when it comes to the gaming industry. So they are without a doubt some of the elites. So it's tough, man. I mean, you hate to see that. I mean, really, they got me too'd. They got me too'd big
That's
time,
true.
and deservedly so. Some of the stories that were coming out about certain female employees that were passed over for promotions, or when they were given the ability to step into a bigger leadership role within certain departments and whatnot. Then significant pay discrepancies between them and their male counterparts, which, I mean, it's one of those things, man. You don't think it, because it was wild reading up on some of this stuff to me, because so many video game companies and the gaming community and whatnot, for the most part, it's a pretty friendly community, and I know a lot of people who are in the gaming industry, whether it's development or on the streaming side, things of that nature. And they're all super, super friendly, very enjoyable people. I mean, you're dealing with video games as your day job.
How could you not
tough,
be happy?
Right. It's tough to it's tough to be a jerk when you're in that industry. You know what I mean? Because you don't get into the gaming industry typically. You don't get into that sort of field, into that sort of industry, if you don't genuinely enjoy playing video games, taking part in video games. If you don't enjoy some aspect of that industry, it's not something that it's not some office job that you just stumble into. Typically. So, what kind of fallout you think they're looking at? Because I saw that there's big worker strikes. There's a ton of streamers. There's a bunch of big streamers who are boycotting certain Blizzard titles, trying to kind of bleed them out and whatnot. Are you hearing any fallout or any backlash that's sort of coming through? I know you're tapped into this a little more than I am, Mitch. What do you hear on the street as far as some of the effects, the after effects of these the protests and sort of these freeze outs from the streamers?
Well, I mean, from the streamers specifically, it's more like they're transitioning over to other games. They're trying to explore other ways to keep their streams going, keep content flowing without treading on any like Activision Blizzard properties. So it's kind of interesting to see them do that. They're moving over to basically whatever MMO they could find a home in. And I mean, as far as court or government punishment, I mean, there's a big lawsuit from the state of California over that 2-year investigation, obviously, into those working environments. But also there's a class action lawsuit, I believe, from their investors now, that the value of their stock was inflated, knowing that this stuff was going on beforehand, like knowing that the investigation.
You're talking the Blizzard and Activision stock.
Yeah, the Activision ATVI, yeah.
ATV, okay, the stock ticker, yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a class action lawsuit over that being overvalued going into their earnings call, which happened earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday. It was a couple days ago now, which kind of went well, actually. I mean, I watched it and there was nothing crazy. They didn't really get grilled in the Q&A section, which I kind of expected them to, but it seemed like the questions they answered were just corporate speak, like we care about our people and we foster a creative environment and all that. But it's tough when you hear a 2-year investigation is going on into exactly the opposite. It's just crazy. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it's wild situation out there, and it's wild to think too that some of these streamers who bring in their main source of revenue is to stream these games, and for them to basically say, hey, we are gonna directly affect and potentially cause a detriment to our livelihood, to take a stand against some of these discrepancies that Activision Blizzard are making.
I'm sure it's extremely nerve-wracking for them. I mean,
right.
There are people who just play. I mean, I know not personally, but I know several, content
Uh,
creators on YouTube that just do World of Warcraft stuff, either lore or gameplay videos or reviews of
right.
what's going on. It's like their whole livelihood is now being shaken up, and it's crazy to see how they're adapting too. They're doing it so well, but yeah, just being thrown through the ringer like that is probably just I mean, my stomach would drop out from underneath me. I know.
I'm curious. Is Apex an Activision title?
No, that's EA. I
That's
believe.
EA. Yeah, it is
I
EA.
believe
No,
it's
yeah,
EA.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so never mind. Because I was gonna say, my boy, We the People, shout out Tullis. He's a big Apex streamer, so I was curious if that was one of the titles that was being affected. Either way, I want to get him on, man. He would have some really good banter with you on the show. He'd be a really good guest to have. But that being said, speaking about guests, we are gonna pivot over to our interview with my friend and entrepreneur Mike Soares. A little background for those of you watching about Mike. Mike is a longtime friend of mine. He was a star player over at Bridgewater State University on their men's basketball team. And he has a very, very exciting emerging fitness company and brand called New Human. He's worked with tons of international clients. He's trained tons of people from across the world. He's got a very intriguing business model that we went over. He's doing big things, man. He's doing big things. I'm really happy for him. We had an awesome sit down yesterday. Just chatted up about some basketball, about where he's going with that business, and I thought it'd be something really cool that the viewers might be interested in. Kind of get a look at a Massachusetts local guy making waves in the world, really building up a great brand. So without any further ado, this is the interview with Mike Soares. Everybody, we are here live with my good friends and business owner / former college basketball player / all-around excellent individual, Mike Soares. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Great, bro. I'm so happy to be here. It's been a little bit. We haven't spoken in a while. So I'm so excited to have this nice little convo, talk sports, talk everything. So thank you for having me here, bro.
Absolutely. Mike is an A+ individual. He is a business owner of the New Human Project, former Bridgewater State basketball standout. So let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. How you been? How are things? Give me the quick lowdown.
Everything's been busy, but in a good way.
Excellent.
I feel like with the whole COVID situation, life slowed down a little bit. But in my case, it actually sped up a little bit. We'll get into that. But yeah, man, just living life day by day. Very happy to be here. How's life been for you?
It's been good, man. It's been good. So we've been doing the pod. Mike and I have been trying to work out a date and time to get him on here. He's got a lot of really interesting things that I wanted to dive into about the New Human Project. Good basketball mind. So definitely wanted to chop it up, talk some hoops as well, and just an all around great guy, man. You been watching any Olympic hoops?
Yes, every game. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics.
Excellent, man. So what do you think of the men's team right now?
They're fine, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I feel like when you have so many elite basketball players playing on one team, like they're the guy on their team. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when there's a bunch of players that come together, it's kind of, you have to mesh, you have to learn. And like when they had the first official game, I think they played, I could be making up, Iran. They won by like 60, 70 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah,
a little bit to mesh, a little scary initially, but they have the best basketball players in the world, so I'm not worried.
Dude, that's what I said. Is when they started out, they played France and blew that lead. Evan Fournier came out of nowhere with Gobert and just kind of charged back in the last like 3 minutes. That was rough, man. That was rough. And even the preseason games, it was tough to watch, man. But dude, I know it's been an interesting team. The last couple of games, like KD looked really good. In the last game against Spain, it was also as good as he looked. The Gasol brothers, man, that was tough. It was tough to watch them, bro. It was tough to watch them. But
that's really cool. I'm so happy that the world of basketball is getting better. Like, before it was like, okay, you go to the U.S., that's where you play. Obviously, the NBA is still like the Premier League, but it's so dope that like other parts of the world are starting to branch out. Like I remember when the Spurs won their last title. They won a title. They went and played like a crappy Europe team and lost. the first
Yeah.
game after the championship, which meant like, yo, everything's up in the air. Like basketball is such a game of chance, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. We had my buddy Brad Tinsley, who plays for Porto out in Portugal, on last week, and even he was saying the domestic leagues and the domestic academies, they are starting those kids out, 12, 13 years old, learning fundamentals, learning and just fitting into each role on a team, and being able to execute all the fundamentals and all the technical aspects really, really well, man. Dude, basketball internationally is getting a lot more interesting. So I think we're far away from the days of the dream team in the 90s just waxing every team that they played against. Look at Luka. Look at Luka with
100%.
Slovenia right now, bro. Like insane, man. Insane.
And I want to talk a little bit about international hoops too. We can dive into this a little bit more, but prior to COVID, I went to Haiti.
Yeah.
I actually ran into this guy. I was just playing basketball, playing pickup, and these 2 7-footers came in, right? And I was like, I played against a few 7-footers, but let's have fun. I tried dunking on him a bunch of times. And then this other guy who came with him was like, oh, like, what do you do to jump so high? I'm like, I'm a trainer. And he was like, oh, put me through a workout right now. So, all right. Put him through like a 30-minute workout.
On the spot?
On the spot. On the spot. All right, let's do it. And I put Pierre, his name, Pierre, through the workout. And he's like, brother, you're a great trainer. You know what you're talking about. Come to Haiti with me in 4 months. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
Boom. So I was like, all right. We went to Haiti. I brought my boy Rocky, who also in Bridgewater. We went out there and we helped run a 400 kid basketball camp. And only 5 kids knew how to speak English out of 400. Wow. And of course, like we raised money for food, backpacks, school gear.
Right.
The lead guy, he had to leave because like the food situation was like something was going on. So he's like, okay, your camp. And we're like, how do we run a camp with 400 kids who don't know how to speak English? And bro, 4 hours. Basketball is a universal language. It was one of the experiences of my life. I'm going back there this year. A bunch of NBA talent has been found at that same exact camp. Nerlens Noel was discovered there. Like a bunch of players. Like there's kids that were going there and just learning how to windmill second day of ever playing basketball. Like the athleticism is absurd. It's crazy. And there's so much untouched talent around the world.
But dude, even look at a case like Giannis. Dude, Giannis out in Greece, he was sharing shoes, playing in gyms with no lights, no AC and whatnot. So, dude, I completely agree. Even in the Congo too, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, like tons, like because what's his face from the GM for Toronto? Oh my God,
I know who you're talking about.
Masai, dude, he's got NBA Africa now, like. Crazy development all around the world right now. Just really, really awesome. That's actually really interesting. Well, I do want to dive into that a little more too, because that's on the New Human Project. Yeah, well, we'll jump into it now actually. So you were down there when you went down to Haiti, like you were saying. That you ended up that ended up being a part of the New Human Project, right?
Yes.
Why don't we'll give everyone a little backdrop. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit what New Human Project is, what the initiative's all about, and we can kind of like segue into some of the things that you're doing with it.
Of course. So like you said, I went to Bridgewater State. I studied exercise science, and 3 days after I graduated, I started working at a place called Equinox, which is like a high luxury gym. And I was there for 3.5 years, and it was really cool. I was doing great, learning a lot, continuously learning, and I was like statistically I was in the top 100. I forget where I was out of 6,000 trainers, and I still felt like I could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would reach out through Instagram, and I was like, let me try to figure out, because I was capped out. I was working 13, 14 hours a day. I was like,
you only got so much time, right?
So I started training people online. So I created a New Human Project, and I made it unique because I wanted to help people while also helping others. And that sounds like a tongue twister, but for every person who signs up to train, for every person who buys merch, who buys a program, we donate a percentage every single month to usually a children's health related foundation. Mm-hmm. We donate to a bunch of different things like homeless people in Boston and all that fun stuff, but typically it's something related to kids.
Right.
And yeah, so prior to COVID, I had a team of 8 trainers, still have a team of 8 trainers, and we were running virtual workouts. And then when COVID happened, we already had a fitness app, and we had the system down to train virtually. So it
Yep.
kind of blew up a little bit because everybody's at home. Nobody had gym access.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, last year we had like 1,400 people use the app, which was pretty cool. And this year we already passed that, which is pretty cool to see the growth.
Oh, excellent. Yep.
And first time actually announcing this anywhere public, I'm actually trying to open up a gym in the next 2 months.
Okay.
So
Okay.
But yeah, man. So it was basically created our goal is to help people live a happier and healthier life while also helping other people at the same time. You know what I mean? Like a happier,
Absolutely.
like a healthier world is a happier world. You know what I'm saying?
So now when you started it up, right? Like when you started training people online, because I remember, dude, I remember the early days, like the first New Human Project logo I saw, and I think we chatted like really briefly about it when you had first launched. I think we might have just kind of like gone back and forth a little bit. And then obviously COVID hits. So you could say, in a way, COVID actually probably helped spark a lot more interest, because once everything closed, once we were locked down, I imagine there were a lot more people who were searching for, online training, video training, to kind of stay in shape at home. Did that like significantly help how many people were reaching out to? I imagine it would, right?
I 100%
Yeah.
do so, because it's crazy. I would ask people like after the virtual workout, how was it? Like, what did you enjoy the most? And obviously the workouts are good. It's not that the workouts aren't good, but everybody would always say, we love the community aspect. Like 5 minutes before the video call, 20 minutes after the workout was over, people would still be on and speaking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was so isolated. I think they missed that community aspect. That
the interaction with each other. Human interaction, of course.
So I think that definitely helped, because I had a lot of people, they would reach out and be like, yo, that was the highlight of my day. I just worked out with my mom, or like a mom. I used to train, I still train a lot of moms. One specifically come to mind, should be like, the highlight of COVID was working out with my son, daughter, and husband using the programs on the New Human app, which I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Dude, it's wild that you sort of hit multiple lanes, multiple voids, if you will, that were created by COVID. Like, people want to go exercise, they can't get out, they can't get to gyms and whatnot, and they can't see other people. Like humans we're intrinsically social creatures, that we want to be around other humans. Like, we're not an isolated kind of species for the most part. So now you're hitting a business need, you know what I mean? You're hitting the business need of people want to stay in shape, they want to take care of their bodies, they need something to kind of, feed that to them, and a social need. You're hitting the social need where it's, so let me ask you this. When you ran some of the online workouts and some of the online classes and whatnot, was it, how many people were in that class at once? Was everyone on, like, was it kind of like a Zoom meeting, like we're doing, where everyone's on screen and then obviously you're leading the way, or like, was it all audio? How did that work?
Yeah, it was Zoom meetings primarily. So on the app itself, there's programs you can follow, like we give people homework, and there were templates, but it was relatively pretty specific to somebody's goals. But with the actual live workouts, it'd be Zoom meetings every week. I mean, we'd run different classes at different times and different attendances, but typically our most common classes would have like 100 people online, which is really cool.
Oh, that's excellent. Simultaneously?
Simultaneously.
Obviously. Yeah.
Which would be really cool. It's the party, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Coaches. So like one coach would be demonstrating, the other coach would be giving hints and cues to certain individuals. We'd give people the option of having their camera on or off, but everybody would always love having it on because we'd help them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Free zone. So it's pretty cool.
Right, dude, that is excellent, man. That's excellent. So, okay, so now what sort of business practices, I'm really curious as to how, when you develop a business, like a small business, and you're growing a business during a global pandemic, that definitely obviously it presents you with a very specific set of challenges, a very specific set of circumstances that hopefully we never deal with again, but that, I'm sure a lot of that can carry over into, as we kind of segue back to a more normalized society and whatnot. Were there any particular practices or any kind of like strategies or whatever that you took while we were in lockdown, while we were in COVID, that you kind of carried over, that you can kind of see with some that helps you continue to build as we, you know, push towards a more normal, like a more return to normal, so to speak?
Yeah, 100%, bro. I definitely feel like I became a better trainer. I learned a
Mhm.
lot more. I became much more versatile trainer. But in regards to marketing, I really learned that, like, since we weren't interacting in person, I still wanted to spread knowledge and spread positivity. So the social media aspect really grew a lot during that time because we were
Right,
posting a bunch of our workouts, and that's basically where I run most of the businesses through social media. So
right,
after like in-person training was allowed again in person, this has been my busiest summer ever for in-person sessions because everybody wants to be fit, and now
right.
everybody's allowed to be fit again, going to the gym and whatnot. So I definitely feel like I learned how to, I'd say, market and also explain what we do better. And it attracted more people because the mission's genuine. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So, so now that like, you know, gyms are back open, things are for the most part, everything's operating, you know,
Mhm.
I would, what, 90-95% what it was prior to COVID, you know, and in barring some particular circumstances around the country. Um, have you now kind of pivoted and gone back to like taking some of these, you know, maybe digital workouts and online workouts and just putting them in a physical location at, you know, wherever? I know, you mentioned possibly buying a gym. So that's got to be the natural next step, right? Is to kind of take some of the online portion and just put it back into a physical in-person workout, sort of, right?
Yeah. On a personal note, I feel like my business is much more efficient because before I was in the gym physically there 14 hours a day, drained by Wednesday. And
Mhm.
now I have some in-person clients. I have some online clients where I just program for them and they do their workout. And then I have my
Mhm.
virtual clients. I still run a bunch of virtual workouts. And it's
Right.
much more of a balanced approach from my side. And now I'm not dead all day. I can be much more productive, can communicate with my team better. That's another thing that's really helped out. I learned that letting go of the wheel and having somebody else who's better at something than you take that responsibility makes life so much easier. I have an assistant,
Yeah.
I have 8 trainers. Like, I could easily be like, I'm the one who's right all the time, but it's like, no, like,
Right.
I have somebody who's better at social media than I am. I have somebody who's better at programming than I am. You know what I mean? It's a team effort. And that's how you grow, like when you become selfless.
Right. No, 100%, man. 100%. So, all right, so where do you envision what's, you know, obviously you said, you know, you're looking to buy a physical location and kind of house yourself there. What's the next steps to branch out and kind of, you know, expand the business model and scale up? You know, I know I definitely want to talk more about you know, you going back to Haiti and overseas. Are there plans to go elsewhere overseas as well? I figured there would. Let's hear.
Um, bro, I learned this from you because back in our club days, I used to remember like
Oh,
connection.
you're gonna put us back to the swerve days? You're
Listen,
gonna go back to the swerve days right
the
now? Oh my
best
goodness.
sales and marketing experience I ever gained was when we were club promoting. But
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yes, I'm going to rush with the same guys who go to Haiti. So the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
who I go, the guy that I go to Haiti with. So they are called Power Forward International.
Yep.
They're the foundation that I went with and let me run that basketball camp.
Right.
That guy, the owner, his wife's dad, wife's
Yep.
uncle, is Vladimir Putin. So we are going to Russia
Wait,
next year.
his what time out.
I know
No,
it sounds like I
no,
just made it.
time
His
out.
wife's
Time out.
uncle,
No, I'm calling
Vladimir
you for
Putin.
that's a 3-second violate. Three in the key right now. Did you just so his wife's uncle is Putin?
Yes, and has a lot of connections.
Like
So
Vladimir Putin,
yes, we were supposed to go last
the
year, but with COVID.
president of Russia.
Yes. Long story. Anyways, he's like, bro, he's a good
Like,
guy.
you can't just drop that in the middle of a podcast and expect me not to have a billion questions. Like,
um,
I'm gonna let you keep going, but we're coming back to this.
yes, so we're going to Haiti again. We were supposed to go to Russia last year and I
Yeah.
believe Spain. Because after we did that camp, they loved it. They loved the experience. They love how it's such a wholesome experience because it's not just
Right,
about having kids do push-ups. Like they have to learn that fitness is their future. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So going there next year, hopefully. Rocky and I are supposed to go to Cape Verde next year in
Nice.
Africa.
Excellent. Yep.
He has a business partner who is building courts, and he wants us to go over there and run like a little camp in Cape Verde, which would be really cool. Because fun fact, the biggest population, I think it's like 90% of Cape Verdeans in the United States live in Bridgewater and go to Bridgewater State. So there's a huge Cape Verdean presence in Massachusetts.
Interesting.
But yeah, man, I mean, number one goal right now is to open up this physical space. Right now I'm renting out of private studios, and that's phenomenal. And like, I love the
crazy overhead though, I imagine.
I'm blowing a lot of money for somebody else
overhead, bro.
and I'm all for it. Like, they've blessed me with the opportunity, but I need to continue to be a new human. And then another thing that's blowing up right now is the clothes, which is
I see you. I see. I didn't get my jersey in the mail. It must be on the way. That's all right.
I'm like, insert shopnewhuman.com. But
don't worry. You can plug everything you want. Anything you want, we'll plug that shit. Don't worry.
But I actually find a lot of joy seeing people actually rock the brand.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome, like seeing people loving representing New Human, and whether they're in the gym or just relaxing. Like, we have a lot. I think we're at maybe like 40 or 50 like merch items now. So yeah, I'm very excited for all that. There's a lot of moving parts. So keeping a mind in control and also having other people with other opinions within the realm of New Human helps a lot. So it's not just me, you know?
Oh, dude, 100%. Especially merch too. It's the easiest way to build kind of not brand awareness, brand loyalty. You know what I mean? So, dude, I have some of my favorite sweatpants, some of my favorite shorts, you know, whether it's Under Armour. I got my favorite Under Armour shorts. I got my favorite Adidas dry fits and whatnot. So and I go back and I buy them because I love them. You know, it's the easiest way to build some.
One of my favorite occurrences is when two people that I know, but they like two people don't know each other.
Yep.
And they're like somewhere and they run into each other because they see that each other's wearing New Human. And it's like dope. I'm uniting people. Like, that's happening like in California, in Colorado. Like, it's crazy. People in random stations run into each other. I'm like, yo. Last month we actually hit, I think it was like the 45th country we've shipped to. So
wow, that's excellent.
Yeah, big milestone. Like
excellent, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I have to go back to it. So, all right, let me throw a scenario out there for you.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of doing your camp out in Russia, Moscow, St. Petersburg, wherever it is, right? You're in the middle, you know, you're doing layup lines, or you're doing a little, you know, workout, little pickup game, breaks out as it does. Maybe Matty V's there, maybe he's drop stepping a motherfucker every now and then. I don't know. Putin comes onto the court. You dunking on him?
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Come on.
Oh, you know you're not leaving that country alive. That shit's recorded.
That was gonna be the next thing. I'm like, I'm gonna be on IG one day. I'm gonna be in a grave the next.
That'd be the most watched video in the history of the internet, and then you would be the most celebrated and then mourned individual in the history of the internet. Just an FYI.
Dead ass, bro.
Just in case you were wondering what might happen, but no, in all seriousness, that is wild, man. That is wild. That is also so cool. So he says Power Forward Academy,
Power Forward International.
Power Forward International. Gotcha. So now are they
phenomenal individuals? They're both NPA.
Excellent, man. Dude, that is that's so awesome. And like you said, there's a philanthropic side to this as well, where you're kind of giving back. So so I'm actually curious, when you are getting ready to go over, do you have to get clear work visas? Is this like, because they're not paying to attend these clinics. So technically, you know, you're working per se, but it's a charitable event, right? So what's that process like in terms of planning that out and sort of just mapping it out logistically? Like, how do you even begin to figure out like getting venues, you know, getting the word out, marketing in a foreign country? You know, I imagine you probably have to get, you know, literature in the domestic language and whatnot. So that part is actually really, really interesting to me, because I saw, and for those watching, if you go to it's New Human Project on Instagram, right? I mean, I know you guys
it's new _human.
new underscore human. And you guys have video. You got in the highlight reel. I know there's videos from Haiti. A lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of individuals there. So where do you begin organize? Like for Russia, for instance, how do you even begin trying to set up venues and getting the word out for this stuff in another country?
So I've been lucky enough where I stick to what I know. And Pierre, he's ran that basketball camp for multiple years.
Yeah.
So Pierre's basically the Michael Jordan of Haiti. Like he's
okay.
like, yo, there's a lot of stuff going on in Haiti right now, but when we were there,
right,
the president's bodyguard left the president to be our bodyguard. Like,
oh wow,
like because that's how like Pierre is like up there. You know what I mean? So when we get to something like that, I'm there as the trainer, the one with the providing the incredible experience. They're the ones handling all the technical side. We haven't made any money. Like I don't get paid to run that camp in Haiti. That's out of my time I'm giving back. I love doing that, and I would do it once a month if I could. So that was a charitable event. But then when it becomes a situation where, say, we do run like an elite ball clinic in Russia, whole different conversation.
Right.
But I'm lucky enough where I don't have to do the marketing in a different country. They already have the connections with all the top coaches out there, and it's just go up, do my thing, boom.
That's awesome, man. So I was wondering, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's a daunting task. Just the language barrier alone and being able to sort of put your program out and deliver it in a way that's going to resonate with the participants. That alone is, weeks and weeks of prep that I imagine that you have to go through. And, I'm sure there's certain social and, local customs and things that you have to sort of grasp in order to, effectively deliver what you want to deliver, your essence of New Human. And then you take all the logistics side of things, from flights, from accommodations, from, getting the word out to people. Like I said, marketing domestically, like that's a whole nother full-time gig. So that's impressive, man. That's honestly really, really cool, really impressive.
A lot goes into it. A lot goes into it.
For sure, man. For sure. So where do you see, where do you see, or where do you want to see New Human in 5 years?
Woo! All right.
Give me 5 years. Shoot for the moon. Whatever. Like, what's the vision here? What's the vision here? As we, where are the benchmarks that you want to hit? In the next 5 years or
so. I genuinely believe that I can help affect 1 million people within the next 5 years. And I just throw up 1 million just because it's a number, but the end goal is to be a worldwide brand, because I feel like our mission is so genuine and like so good for the world that like I want to just keep pushing that mission, and we can do that through fitness, through the clothing. And yeah, man, I just want to be a worldwide brand and just continue helping people. It was really eye-opening. I actually made a post on Instagram like a week and a half ago. All of last year, I think I trained like online, virtually, like I passed 1,000 by a little bit. And then like within like a 6-day span, I trained 900 people, like boot camps. I ran a basketball camp with Enes Kanter, who just signed with the Celtics again. My boy's back.
Yeah.
And like within just a 6-day period, I did half of what I did in almost 300 days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, did almost what I did in 300 days. So it's cool to just see the progress, and the progress is going to keep going brick by brick. You know what I mean? Just
of course, man. How's Enes's game?
He's good. Yo, people don't understand. Like, basketball, we were saying, is so open, but there's a huge difference between, like, I forget what Scal had this huge quote. My boy was playing against Scal.
Oh, I remember what it was.
It was like, somebody's like, oh, you suck. He's like, oh, like, I'm not LeBron, but I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me, or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm closer in skill to LeBron than you are in skill to me. That's the type of gap. I remember reading that too. Yeah.
And it's true. Enes Kanter I think he has the NBA record for playoff rebounds per game or something like that. In one game, he had like 30 rebounds, 35 or something like that. Like, he's skilled. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't underestimate like NBA players.
Yeah,
but I can still dunk on him. Like, Enes, watch this. You know I'm gonna come for your head.
I hope Enes watches this shit. Well, we can have him on a little dual interview. It'll be like first take.
First take.
Yeah, be like first take. Mike Soares and our special guest Ennis Cantor right here, and I'll just completely facilitate that convo right in the middle there. Oh man, that is good stuff, man. That is good stuff. I still can't get over the Putin shit.
I'm like, Maddie, wait 1 year, you'll see my videos.
Oh, that's wild, dude. That's wild. And dude, what's crazy is like, I feel like weirdly, like that's the type of thing where I feel like he'd be like, oh, there's Americans that are gonna, instruct our youth, Mother Russia's youth, here on Mother Russia's soil. I must investigate. Who is this man? Who is this new human? You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying, dude, all I'm saying is I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he catches wind of this if he's got a close relationship with.
No, he could be there, like 100%. Like I'd go to his house, like it's like literally his like direct family. Like every time he goes to Russia, he's hanging out. Here, while we're on the podcast, I'll try to find a picture of Pierre with Putin. Like just to prove, bro.
Okay, can we FaceTime you, FaceTiming Pierre, FaceTiming Putin right now? just
yeah.
That's.
Let me go to Pierre's photos real quick. Hold on. Let me try to find one while we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
He went to Russia, I think, right after COVID or right before COVID.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh God, man.
It may take me a little bit because I'm in his tagged photos, so I'm gonna look around a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. That's fine. Oh my God, that's so. I don't think I've ever. That I'm not gonna lie, man. Of all the twists and turns that could have happened with us chatting it up today, that's not very high on the totem pole of things that I thought we were going to talk about. One of the last things I would have guessed we'd have a conversation about would be you instructing and having a direct connection to Vladimir fucking
Yo, everybody's like 2 or 3 people away from everybody, man. The world's much more connected than people think.
Oh man, that's wild.
Oh man.
So, all right. So what would you say with the new human stuff? What would you say is right now? Because like it's obviously it seems like you're trying to scale up and whatnot. What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Is it just having a physical space of your own? Is it needing that your own gym, your own actual I don't know, like what's stopping you from breaking that next barrier?
I definitely feel like trying to I don't even want to say figure out our niche and sticking with it. Because I feel like so many opportunities of I actually sat down the other day and I was like, all right, what is New Human? It's a production company. It's like we're creating content all the time. It's a tech company. We have like an app. It's like a physical location. Like we offer in-person training by 8 trainers. It's also like, it's just so many different things. You know what I mean? And I just got to continue to grow. But I do think that the physical location will definitely blow up the brand a little bit more. Because you know what I mean? More people can come to a New Human location every day and live that lifestyle every day. And obviously online is phenomenal, but in person to person connection is just a whole different level. You know what I mean? So
you're
I think it's like in that spot.
Yeah, you're rolling in the social aspect of it, man. That's huge, man. That's huge. You're delivering a service and filling a social need. That's a huge 1-2 punch. But
yo, I'm literally gonna text Pierre and be like, send me a picture of you and
unfortunately, that's kind of pushing our time limit right now for this episode. But rest assured, this will not be the last time that we have you on, and it's definitely not the last time that we revisit Putingate here on 2-Way Takes.
Yo, I just texted him. If he sends me the photo, I'll text it to you and you add it as the cover photo.
Yeah. Oh my God. I get in trouble with that. Like, is the NSA gonna come at me or so? Like, I don't know, Mike. We're only 5 episodes in. You already want me to start hosting the president of Russia on the podcast? Oh man, no, but seriously, dude, it was an absolute treat catching up. For anyone watching, new_human is Mike's brand, the New Human Project. Doing big things, man. Doing big things. Really proud of you, buddy. Really proud of you. So awesome. So great to hear that you're thriving and doing well. And yeah, man, let's get you a physical location. Blow this thing up even more, yeah?
You'll come to a workout?
Yeah, bro. Wait, boom! The gun show's always in business, baby. We're always open. Always open. God, shit, man. I may not do digital workouts with you, but I'll still drop step like a motherfucker. Oh, man. Mike, it's awesome having you, buddy. Seriously, best of luck. We'll have you back on real soon, too.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, brother.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that sit down with Mike Soares. Big thank you again to Mike for taking the time to sit down with us, talk about New Human. Again, you can follow Mike and all of his endeavors along with the New Human Project on Instagram at new_human. They're doing some really, really cool things in the fitness world. And Mike's just a great guy. He's just a great guy. I've known him for a long time. So awesome to see him thriving with that. I'm sure we'll have him back on at a future episode, and who knows? Maybe he'll be kind enough to bring us out to Russia with him, so I can give Vladimir Putin a little drop step sizzle from the Portuguese Express. We'll see. But again, big thanks to Mike and New Human for that. So with that, I think Mitch, why don't we jump into a quick little 2-minute drill?
You think a little 2-minute drill?
I'm thinking a little 2-minute drill. Let's close this episode down. We're already over. It's hard cutoff, baby. I like to keep it at a hard cutoff an hour, but let's run through a little 2-minute drill, some Q&A if there's any questions in the comments, and let's go home. What do you got? What do we got today?
All right, let's get it. We got the USA versus France coming up in Olympic basketball. Who you got?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna take. I got the U.S. man. It looks like they finally found their shit. They got it together. They're gonna be out for revenge. There's gonna be the mantra of these guys got us early on in the preliminary rounds. So I'll take the U.S. I'll take the U.S. to get gold after what was a tumultuous start to their international play this summer.
Very surprised they lost to France, actually. I'm going to be totally honest with you. But anyway, next question. We got Najee Harris. Is he going for over or under 1,000 for the Steelers this year? Rushing yards, that is.
That's a good one. So I want to say over so much. Because I do think Najee Harris is great. I mean, James Conner is out of that backfield. It's really only Benny Snell is really the only other guy, and Kalen Ballage back there, I believe. But that offensive line is just not good, man. It's just not good, and it feels like they're going to use him a lot more of the backfield as a pass catcher as well, which they may look to use him as run a little 3-yard, 4-yard out or a little swing route in place of a handoff. Like their running game will they'll take some running plays and try to get him out into open space because they know the line isn't that serviceable, and it'll be receptions that'll count for receiving yards instead of rushing yards. So I'll say under, but I do think he's in the 850 to 950 rushing yard range and sprinkle in another. I think he's well over 1,000 all purpose. I'll say that.
All right, and lastly, do you think Luka Doncic is the front runner for the MVP this year in the NBA?
Oh man, I love me some Luka. Fuck it, yeah. Give me Lulu for MVP. Lulu for MVP. I'll say it now. Give it to me. He's looked awesome in the Olympics. He's going to get his ass in shape over the summer. The Mavs are going to make a run. They'll be a 2 or a 3 seed. Lulu for MVP. I got it. Lock it in.
Hot takes, baby. Hot takes.
Hot takes.
That's it. I think we're good.
All right. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 6 here of 2-Way Takes. For myself and producer Mitch, we hope you have a safe and happy rest of the week and weekend. No episode next week. Next week, we're going to be taking a week off. I will actually be across country hiking up Mount Rainier and hiking through the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to take a little off week, but producer Mitch is going to keep you guys posted on all our social media accounts. So little break. Just a quick little break while I get in tune with my natural self out in the forests of Washington State. But we will be back strong for some preseason football right after that. So hope you guys enjoy. We will see you soon. And thanks for watching Two Way Takes.
Bye bye.